In this presentation, we are going to learn how to apply for a small business loan. A little bit about us. We are Startup Saturdays. We are based in San Francisco. However, we work with companies from all over the world in areas of technology and finance. A little bit about myself. My name is Adil Ehsan. I'm a founder, a developer, instructor, and a funding partner. If you would like to contact me, you can contact me at this email address, classes@startupsaturdays.net. If you would like to work through our partnership with the Funding Circle, then please use the link in the description to start and complete your application. This is what the links looks like. It's in the description. Today we're going to cover the criteria, the required documentation, and the application process. Once again, we are looking at the criteria for Funding Circle in particular. There are multiple different ways of getting funding for your small business. However, in this particular presentation, we are only looking at Funding Circle. So Funding Circle has a general criteria, which means that you want to be close to this criteria. Once you apply, Funding Circle will look at your application and assess every business individually. However, this is the general criteria that they look at. They're looking at a FICO score of at least 620. They are looking at a business revenue of 150,000 in the last year. But once you apply, even in the last 3 years, if you have shown some growth, that might help. Then they're looking for a net income of at least greater than $0 in the past 1 to 2 years. Even if you have had a net income of greater than $0 in the past 3 years, you can start your application process and work with Funding Circle to see what they come up with. You should have been in business for at least 2 years, and you should not have a bankruptcy on your record for the past 7 years. So there is a requirement related to liens, and I'll read this requirement for you. The following scenarios are acceptable: 4 or fewer tax liens filed in the past 10 years. So within the past 10 years, if you have 4 or less tax liens, then you may qualify. The tax lien in aggregate sum less than 1,000 filed within the past 3 years that are outstanding where the borrower is not on a payment plan. That's the second point, which is saying that if you have less than 1,000 in tax liens in the past 3 years and you're not on a payment plan, then it may work. And then tax liens filed within the past 10 years in aggregate sum of less than 5,000 that are outstanding where the borrower is not on a payment plan. Again, if you have less than 5,000 in the last 10 years in tax liens where you're not on a payment plan, you may qualify. Again, you have to start the application process and start working with Funding Circle, and they will individually look at your business and then make an assessment. However, are some general guidelines for you to utilize when applying for your loan. So if you're a brand new business and you're applying for a Funding Circle loan, there's a high likelihood that you will not qualify because Funding Circle is looking for businesses that have some history. You should not have a criminal record, and it is difficult to get sole proprietorship or a nonprofit to get funded through Funding Circle. This does not mean that a sole proprietorship or a nonprofit cannot apply for a loan. However, in the general criteria, Funding Circle is already stating that they would prefer not to work with a sole proprietorship or a nonprofit. Again, if you have any questions and need help, please contact us on classes@startupsaturdays.net, and we are happy to help you. So there are some verification documents that you may need while going through your loan process. The first verification process document is you would need the last 2 years business tax returns. If you are more than a 20% owner of the business, then you're going to need your last year's personal tax return. You will also need your last 6-month bank statements. Now you can have one statement that shows the last 6 months activity. That may work as well. And you need a business debt worksheet. So you need to create a worksheet with all your debt. And then you need your interim financials, which is your year-to-date profit and loss and balance sheets. And these apply if you're applying for a loan for over $300,000. If there is someone who is going to guarantee the loan, then you need a guarantor form from that individual or shareholder. And so these are just some of the general documents that you will need for completing your loan application. It depends on how big of a loan you're applying for. So you can start your application process, and then if there is a need to bring in these documents, you keep on preparing those documents as you're going through your application process. If you need our help, please feel free to contact us, and we'll be happy to help you with the process as well. Again, the application for Funding Circle, if you would like to utilize our partnership with Funding Circle, then you should use this link that you see on the screen and in the description to start your application process. So let's look at an application. We'll fill out an application. I'll copy this URL. And well, this is already up, but I'll just paste it in here, hit enter. So if you had clicked on that link in the description, this is the application that's going to come up. So the first question that Funding Circle is asking you is, how big of a loan do you want? So let's say we want $500,000 loan. So Funding Circle focuses on loans between $25,000 and $500,000. So the minimum loan you're going to apply for is $25,000, and the maximum is $500,000. And then we select the term. So if you wanted a 60-month, it says it's going to cost between $10,744 per month to $13,608. Or if you go for 24-month, it says it's going to be $22,611 and $25,000 and 32. So this is kind of giving you a general idea of how much you can expect to pay per month for this loan. So we'll go with 48 months, and we'll stick to 500,000. And after that, it is asking you just for some of your basic information. We'll just put in test, and we'll just put in test, and we'll put on our business number. And so we will put in an email address, and we'll make a password. And then it says get started. So this is creating an account for us on Funding Circle, and this is how you start your loan application process. So the next question it's asking us is, how many years have you been in business? So let's say we've been in business for 3 years. Well, the minimum requirement is 2 years, so you'll put in 2 years. So we covered in the criteria that they're looking for a company that makes over $150,000. So yes. So now it's asking is, did we report a profit in at least one of the last 2 years? That's their criteria. So assuming that you meet the criteria, you would hit yes. And have you or your business ever filed for bankruptcy? So if you have not filed for bankruptcy in the past 7 years, then you are fine. But if you file for bankruptcy in the over past 7 years, you're fine as well. But in the past 7 years, you should not have filed for bankruptcy. So over here, There's like what type of business entity do you have? Is it a partnership, C Corp, S Corp, limited liability, other? So we will say limited liability company. And so now it's asking us for an address. So we'll just use our address in San Francisco. And then, so we don't have an offer code here. So how did you hear about us is what they're asking us. So if you want, you can put in other and then paste in the URL, which is our partner URL. And that way you would have confirmed again that you saw this application through Startup Saturdays, and you can work with us in filling out this application. So I just pasted in the URL, and then you can read the credit report authorization requirements, and then and basically you're saying I agree via electronic signature to the credit report authorization. So then you do a quick check. So because we're doing a test, it is going to ask us for some more information because it's not a real person behind this. So it's going to look at it and it's going to say, well, this doesn't seem like a real person. So it will probably ask us for a social security number or some personal information. So what we will show you still in the test is just a 4-step process to apply for a loan through Funding Circle. So now up next, it should ask us for our social security number. So we won't be able to complete the process in this display because we're not using an actual person. So this is just to give you an idea of what the application process looks like. And the rest of the information stays the same. So we do a quick check. We're just putting zeros for the social security number. That way the system should recognize that this is only a test. And now it is asking us for some more information. So it's just saying what our business address is. So we'll use our business address, and we'll say yes, the business address is the same as the primary physical address. Then it's asking us for where the state, which state is the business legally incorporated in. And then it's asking us how many employees does the business have, excluding yourself. So let's just say your business is small, you only have 3 other employees, and you currently only have 1 location. So how many locations does your business have? And so now it's asking us a guarantee. So it's asking us who is going to guarantee. So it's like 1 person is going to guarantee the loan, 2 people or 3 people. So let's just say that we have 1 person guaranteeing the loan. And then it's going to ask us for some industry. So we'll just pick an industry from the list. And then the question is, what do we need the funds for? So we want to pay off existing debt. We want to purchase inventory. We want to purchase equipment. We want to remodel the business, hire new employees, open a new location, market and advertise the business, purchase supplies and materials, acquire new contracts, and develop new product or service. And so there are all these options. So we'll just say we want to open up a new location. And then, so it's saying that include the information for all owners that are more than 20%. So you can add that information in here, and you would hit next. And so it has some required fields. So we'll just put 100% for the test. And this is the final page of the application. So we want we can click on review the application, so we will say, let's say we are renting the space. Oh, so this is your personal residence. So you can put the information in here for rent. So let's say you pay $2,500 in rent. When San Francisco rents are pretty high, and we'll just put in the and we will then it's asking us some value, so we'll say we'll pick some value. This is asking us for like our personal information, what's the value of your personal cash balance, what's the value of your personal retirement balance, what's the value of the stock, bonds, and other securities that you own. So this is asking for some finance information. And have you ever been convicted? No. Are there any legal actions pending against you? No. So then here you click on review application. And so this is just showing you the review of your application. And then you would say you agree to the signature, and then you will just click on submit application. So that is how easy it is to submit for a small business loan through Funding Circle. Please use the link in the description below, and feel free to contact us with questions and if you need help in preparing your small business loan application. Thank you for taking the time to review this presentation.